Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD to the remake is the latest of the string of remakes and remasters that we've been getting lately from classic RPGs. And today we're going to talk about Dragon Quest 1. The original Dragon Quest is one of the oldest JRPGs, and in my opinion it also served as the blueprint as to how JRPGs look and played for decades. Like games like Chrono Trigger, Pokemon, Final Fantasy, I feel like they all have some Dragon Quest inspiration on them. So how was the first game? You know, that was released way back when on 1986, which is like a long time ago, almost 3 years now. So of course, being a game that was released that long ago, it's very much deserving of a remake or a release of some sort, which it's not a stranger to it. There have been many ports in the past before, but this one, it's like more than a facelift. They have done a lot of changes to it. I played it in Draconian difficulty, aka hard mode, and here's what happened. But first, what is Dragon Quest? Like, how's the story? The story is incredibly basic. After all, it's a story that was written way back when in the 1980s for a video game. It's not like now where like a story in a video game, it's almost cinematic, it's almost like a journey or a book or, well, visual novels. There's a whole genre about that. So way back when, the stories were like a lot more simple because it was on a cartridge that didn't support that much data anyways. And in the remake, it still follows the same story bits, but they just added more fluff to it. They added more cutscenes to expand upon that baseline story, which is about you're the hero and you must save a princess and destroy an evil dragon lord. And to be fair, do we really want this game to be rewritten completely? Like what happened with Final Fantasy 1 and that game, Final Fantasy Origins, Stranger of Paradise?
Bullshit.
So, Dragon Quest 1 HD remains largely the same, but again with some added fluff and additions, with new characters, none of them playable, and also voice dialogues.
Is this thy doing?
Thou truly believest it to be so, that thou art of the line of Erdrick?
No.
So this game is still a solo journey. You're just one hero, the main character, and that's it. Some of the new additions though are quality of life improvements like difficulty options, which is why I pick Draconian. There's tons of new spells and abilities, shortcut buttons, and more. Also, you can zoom indoors now. I think that's been a thing for a while now, but it still hurts me a bit. Even though I know it's a quality of life improvement, I still miss when you bonk your head in the ceiling. So as Phil mentioned, you play as the hero, well, the descendant of the legendary hero Erdrick, who saved the land many years ago, and because you're his descendant, that means you're special, because, you know, maybe you're born with it, maybe it's nepotism. And monsters have been wreaking havoc, so of course, instead of the king dealing with it, they're just holding out for a hero till the end of the night or something. Oh, and have I mentioned this solo journey, by the way? This remake keeps it that way, cause I guess back then they haven't yet invented the concept of party members back in 1980 something. So no other party members, just you and the monsters, sort of. More on that later. So at the beginning of the game, you're just this hero that starts hearing some random voice telling him that he's a descendant of Erdrick and warning us of some impending darkness. Then the hero saves some soldiers from some monsters, and as a reward, he gets to get an audience with the king, who actually questions the hero's heritage because, and I check notes, you heard a voice in a dream telling you that you are a descendant of the hero Erdrick. Yeah, that sounds about right. He still believes us though, because apparently it's a royal family secret that the ancient hero also heard voices in their sleep. So I guess he must be passed down or something, must be hereditary. Then the king tasks the hero to go to a cave where the past hero Erdrick was entombed or something. And we meet some of the new additions. This band of wannabe heroes who make up the traditional roles of like a warrior, mage, cleric, and thief. So I guess this is a game being like meta humor. It's like, ooh, look at the classes, look at the traditional classes. Though they're not playable, but look at it, hey, meta. And at the end of this cave, we find a message from Erdrick saying that, hey, you need to gather some items and go to an island, destroy the source of all evil. We go back to the king and tell him about the new mission, and the king mentions that his daughter, the princess, has been kidnapped because, like the hero, she also hears voices and has a message from the goddess. So now we have on our to-do list to find 3 magic items and a princess. Okay, so the journey now properly begins. The hero goes to a new town which has problems with some man who is described as entirely unclothed, save for a mask. We find this man in a cave, Robin Hood. You get it? It's like it's a play in Robin Hood, but without the H, because I guess he stole it too. And promises to return the things he took if the hero saves one of his men who is missing deeper in the cave. We do that, and we also meet some fairies, who then task the hero with finding their boss. So now we need to get 3 magic items, rescue a princess, and find a fairy boss. In order to progress the game, start finding the things, we need to open some doors who are magically locked. So we go to this mage who is making a magic key to open said doors, but he needs the help of a dwarf to make it happen. But when we get to the dwarf is sick, and then we need to find a cure. You know, standard JRPG things when you need to do an objective to complete an objective, but then do an objective that also requires finding something. While the hero is being dragged back and forth on all his mandatory fetch quests, you might be wondering, hey, but what about the princess that got kidnapped? I wouldn't worry too much about her. She's just getting mentally tortured again and again because she doesn't want to say the message the goddess told her. So, you know, no rush to rescue her, I guess. She's just witnessing images of her parents burning in front of her again and again. I'm sure she's fine. Oh, anyways, we need to help the fairies to make a cure. But, guess what? Yep. We need to find something to make the cure. We do that, but when we go to deliver the ingredient, we find out the fairies are being attacked by some monsters. And this is the first battle where I started to feel the draconian difficulty. Because what do you mean one character is supposed to face 5 monsters at once? This in turn forced me to discover one of the most broken abilities in this game. Cop Out. Cop Out is an ability that lets you reflect physical attacks back at the enemy, and it's very aptly named because the way it felt like a cop out to win so many boss fights using that.
Got him! Thou shalt not escape!
Another one. Another one. Another one.
After beating these monsters and saving the fairies, we get our miracle cure, and not only that, they also tell us about something else needed for the quest to find 5 sigils that will give us some nice power-ups. So now we add those to our checklist. The dwarf and the mage make the magic key, and now we can save the princess. We go into this cave which is held prisoner, which for some reason, most of the dungeons in this game are caves. Anyways, we go to where the princess is being held hostage, and here we meet a titular dragon from Dragon Quest. Like, look, it's a thing in the box art, at least in the original box art. We beat him, and now the princess is saved, and poor thing can't walk, so the hero carries her in her arms. Now, we could return the princess to the castle and we get some nice scenes and such. Or we can take her with us all the way to the end of the journey while the hero is carrying her in his arms. Which he can do. And you would think she could walk on her own after resting for a bit, but no. The only time she's standing up is on cutscenes or when we're in battles. Oh yeah. Another thing about keeping the princess is that she participates in cutscenes and serves as a mouthpiece for our silent protag. Anyways, I guess carrying her serves as a nice arm workout for him, though I do not envy how his back must feel after carrying her for so long. At least she gives us some emotional support during battles and some riveting commentary. But to be fair, later down the road, she does provide some cool buffs to the hero, which really helps in some of the tough boss fights, especially in Draconian. Now that one of the tasks on the checklist is done, the couple goes to a new location and tackle another one. They go to this misty forest and rescue the missing boss of the fairies, who then tells us that we need to summon the goddess. And guess what we have to do to summon her? Yep, you guessed it, we need to fetch some more magical items. But thankfully, the game does point out in the world map where you need to go to progress the game, which means they also point out where you can find the items that you need to summon the goddess and the ones needed to face the Dragon Lord as well as the sigils. Our next destination then is a city that is being held hostage by a golem of their own creation that's gone berserk, and after that city is safe and we need to find someone to get info on one of the items, but he was kidnapped by some monsters. Unfortunately, the hero arrives too late and the monsters took the things necessary to summon the goddess, so now we need to chase them. In the meantime, they're like, hey, what about this Dragon Lord that you're supposed to defeat? What is he doing? Is he just biding his time? Well, sort of. He's trying to play with his magical ball that he also got from the princess, while also sending monsters to other towns. So now the hero does the hero thing and goes to those towns to save them by defeating said monsters. And coincidentally, these towns have some of the other items needed to beat the game. Also, f those damn zombie dragons. After doing a world tour and rescuing the different villages, we get the items to summon the goddess and the 5 sigils. We take these to a shrine / tower place and the fairies call upon the goddess Rubis. She cleanses the land for the most part and gives the princess the ability to randomly give the hero some nice blessings and power-ups to some of his techniques and spells. But that's where she's finally useful, like almost at the end of the game. Good for you, princess. Yeah, all that's left now is just to go to the Dragon Lord and beat him. So during the journey, we found a rain staff and a sunstone, and we take that to an old sage, but the sage is something like he only wants to talk to the hero, so we need to get some proof of nepotism. The hero goes from the dungeon to get a mark of Erdrick, which I guess proves that he's a descendant of the hero, and his logic is that only one with the hero's blood is strong enough to defeat the fiends that were guarding that mark. Like, anybody else could have gotten it, but I guess you're born with it, with the power to defeat monsters, because nobody else can, like the hero can, because lineage. I don't know. Anyways, after getting the proof, the sage combines the Staff of Rain and the Sunstone, which allows the hero to make a rainbow bridge, which we can use to access the Dragon Lord castle. Because I guess ships were not a thing in this game's world, so a magical bridge was the only way to get there. After reaching the Dragon Lord's castle, the hero confronts the Dragon Lord and his Vegeta hairline, and this is a hard fight, by the way, especially on Draconian. Yet, not as hard as those fucking zombie dragons. And just like any respectable final boss, he has a second form. And since the game is called Dragon Quest, and he is the Dragon Lord, he turns into a dragon. After beating the dragon, peace is known in the realm. We take the princess back to her kingdom and the hero is sung praises. Not only that, the king is like, hey, I kinda wanna abdicate the throne. How about you marry my daughter and take this kingdom? But the hero is like, nah, I wanna build my own kingdom in another realm, in another land. Oh, but I'm also taking your daughter. By the way, this is all consensual, of course. The princess also wants to go whenever he goes, so good luck, I guess, to the kingdom of Tentagel. Because I think the princess is an only child and the king is not exactly a spring chicken. Well, that's a problem for them and not for the hero. Anyways, that's it. The end. Oh yeah, while we were doing all this, by the way, there's some B-plot stuff happening that was added to expand the lore of the game involving the soldiers that we met at the start. One of them is about how one of the soldiers left the search party of the princess after getting scared because of monsters, but he gets his courage back after seeing that his family was about to get attacked by monsters. And another one is about a young soldier who doubts a hero, but her dad, who is a senior soldier, trusts us. Then her dad gets sick, but we found the miracle cure that we used on the dwarf, and we also used it on him, and then a young soldier stops being a hater. I feel like they were meant to be party members, perhaps. Have they added party members? But yeah, like most things in the story in this game, it barely gets any screen time, and it's very straightforward and solved very quickly. So there's not much to say about it, I guess. It's just there as an attempt to add more plot to the game. Yeah, this was Dragon Quest 1 HD Remake, which It's a fun game. It's a nice revisit. If you never play the game and you want to know like what was the story of one of the oldest JRPGs, you can experience it in this new way. Which, the thing about this being a remake is that it's not exactly a one-to-one experience to the original, but it's close as it gets with a lot of quality of life improvements. Because having that little fast forward button to make the battles faster, less grinding required because you get more experience and more money in battles, plus the additional cutscenes that were not in the original. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to do the things like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this game. Have you tried this game? Will you ever try it? Or maybe, nah, not for me. And what's your favorite Dragon Quest? I know, too many questions. Feel free to answer all of them down below. Until next time, bye!